Golovkin. And so he was a key element of our plan to be what he just said we were going to be, which is the premier destination for fight fans. And so there was very little question in my mind that this is a signing we needed to make. And I'm happy to hear that Gennady expects to fight 6 times, and I'm happy to hear that he is open to fighting more than 6 times if he's still fighting at the same high level. But we're thrilled. This is a great deal for us. We're very excited. Chris asked before about why this took so long. I had a chance to meet Gennady's wife, Elena. I had a chance to see his new son.
So, you know, a lot of things are being confirmed by John Skipper, and just by, you know, just the media event itself is that, yes, Tom Loeffler is still involved with Golovkin. Abel Sanchez acknowledges that later on in the press conference. And, yes, those rumors that have been circulating around is that Golovkin's wife, who, remember, it was seeming at one point in time, it seemed like he was neglecting his wife. She had the baby, and he was at a fight and shit. So now it's looking like the rumors are true that she's heavily involved, you know, in his shit, which is good. Keep that shit in family. So a part of me wants to really know what she did for a living or what she does for a living in regards to if she's in like finance or, you know, maybe an attorney or something like that, you know? So it's seeming that it's looking, well, it looks like that Golovkin is the fighter. John Skipper is actually the promoter and the network. Loeffler is like the advisor, and Golovkin's wife, where does she fit into it? Like overseeing everything. You know, that's kind of what it's looking like. It's kind of what it's looking like. Just like Wilder is going to be going to John Skipper to talk. You see what I'm saying? They have a very interesting business plan or model that they're using. You know? So, what was I looking for? Oh, listen in. So, Chris Mannix is about to start asking him some real questions about, one, about the subscriber number. You know, because a lot of fans want to know, well, how many subscribers does the Zone have? And to paraphrase, he asks him on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you? And he dances around a little bit, and then he says about a 3 or 4. But, you know, when we get to a 10, which we will, I'll be happy. But I'm going to let you listen in. And then he also asked about Deontay Wilder. And he start tap dancing. And now pay attention. He start dancing. He start cutting that rug. Pay attention to when he, you know, like something's going on with Wilder. Like he probably got to leave this press conference right now and go meet Wilder somewhere on a jet. You know, something's going on. All right. And then remember, Lou DiBella is going to be in Philly this week for the Zone fight because his fighter is Tevin Farmer. Ooh. So I got to figure out how to word my questions in order to get an answer out of what's going on. Hands are ash, she might start a fire.
It took a long time because this is a lifetime decision. This is a moment in boxing where I think things are changing, and I think what we're going to be able to do is going to bring the best fights back to fans.
She count the bag.
And Gennady wanted to be a part of that, but it was complicated, and it's a decision he's making about his life. Those kinds of decisions take time and consideration. And we were happy to have that.
And if they bring Wilder over, they're going to get them subs.
John, don't want to minimize.
I think
what Canelo is.
Hold up, I think that they're going to throw the fucking Brinks truck at Wilder. I think they're going to throw the truck at him. I think they're going to motherfucking Godfather him, and they're going to make him an offer he can't refuse. They're going to make him an offer that he can't refuse. And then what happens? All the Wilder fans, all the LDBC, y'all going to have to buy the Zone. What y'all going to do? They're just going to not buy it? Y'all going to say all that shit, Wilder? You know, y'all going to turn on Wilder? Y'all going to turn on him if he signed with the Zone? Y'all in a pickle. y'all are in a pickle. Y'all gonna have to support Eddie Hearn, even though he will have nothing to do with the deal. Y'all in a pickle. You're in a pickle. They got you bent over a barrel. You're bent over a barrel. You're bent over a barrel.
He's going to have to face in Danny Jacobs in May, a very competitive fight on May 4th. But is everybody on board with a Canelo Golovkin third fight in the fall if things go the way they could go?
I'll answer this not in Southern English, but in artful rhetoric. And that is that our intention is to bring fans the best fights and the fights that they most want to see. A third fight between Gennady and Canelo is a fight that fans want to see. This is the artful part, but we are focused right now on the fight in May the 4th with Canelo and Danny Jacobs. Danny Jacobs also happens to be a DAZN fighter, and we're focused on the fight that Gennady will have in June, which we also expect to be a difficult fight because he's only interested in fighting appropriate opponents. So we're going to focus on those fights and then see what happens.
Shit's about to get lit. Listen up.
Gennady, you've accomplished a lot in your professional
Wait, did he
career.
ask Skipper already?
You've been a unified middleweight champion.
Hold up. No, we got to get back.
Is that still
Oh, my bad.
have aged and you've seen it noticeable already?
The Canelo fight, I expect to have.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Oh, shit.
John, noticeable.
Doesn't age that way. Doesn't age that way.
So you've seen fighters and work with fighters that have aged and you've seen it noticeable. Have you seen any erosion in Gennady physically, skill-wise in the ring?
I can only gauge it by what happens in the fights. And to this date, there hasn't been anybody that's dominated him in a fight or in the gym. So I would say no. I would say he's fighting at the top level, and nobody's had it over on him, as in some of the other fighters that have fought later in later years. So I imagine there is, but until somebody proves it to me in the ring, I have to say no.
Let me ask you, John, DAZN has already shaken up the landscape with some
Listen
of
now.
the signings and the things that are happening. But when you talk to a lot of
Watch them
boxing
start
people,
dancing.
some of the things they'll say, well, they can't keep spending this money. DAZN will be out of boxing in a few years. It's got a shelf life. How would you respond to that?
I would respond by suggesting it's wrong. I mean, we're committed to this. We are well capitalized. We're going to see the results. We already saw the results from the December fight, which we only had a couple of weeks, the Canelo Fielding fight, to promote. Very well for us. And if we can follow that up with the fights, which we're going to have in May and June and later this fall, we have a very viable financial proposition. So they're simply wrong.
Okay, so I know you're not going to reveal any kind of numbers sitting here with us, but let me put the question this way. On a scale of 1 to 10, when it comes to the subscribers you have, 1, you're miserable about what that number is. 10 being you're ecstatic about what that number is. Where would you be?
Where will I be? I'll be at a 10. I don't know when exactly, but I will be at a 10.
But right now.
Right now, we've had good success, and we've had one landmark event, and that is the Canelo fight. I expect to have 4 or 5 landmark events the rest of this year, and to move from my current, 3 or 4, which means I'm satisfied that we're where we need to be, towards knowing that we're going to be able to accomplish what we need to accomplish in the long run, and that's when I'll be at a 10, when I know that we can do what we need to do.
Can't let you off the hook without asking one non-Gennady question. Talk of Deontay Wilder coming over to DAZN, potentially to fight Anthony Joshua. How would you characterize those negotiations?
I would not characterize them at all, or even confirm them. As we have discussions with people, until we have something to announce, I personally never have any comment on them until we have something to announce. So I don't have anything to announce, so I have no comment.
That's not very
Other
fun.
than we are interested in continuing to, you heard me say, we want to put the best fights on DAZN. You heard me say we want to put the fights on that people want to see. It is pretty clear that one fight people want to see is Anthony Joshua fight Deontay Wilder. That's all the comment I have on that.
We'll take some questions now.
How did y'all like his dance moves? They in talks. Come on. Y'all don't, come on. They in talks. They not in talks. They not in talks. They not in talks. They're going to throw the Brinks truck at him. They're going to pick up the Brinks truck and they're going to throw it at him. If they got the money, listen, listen, they're trying to take over. And if they got the money, they got to spend it. They got to get the talent. They got the 160-pound division. Now all they got to do is make sure they win the purse bids, and the fighters got to go over there. Now, don't get me wrong, Top Rank is positioning themselves as well. And ESPN, with the power of Disney behind them, they got all that money too. The purse bid wars are coming. The purse bid wars are coming. They're coming. Top Rank is positioning their fighters. Guys like Dylan White, announced soon to be a WBO mandatory or WBC. Tyson Fury over there. Kubrat Pulev, IBF mandatory. The Zone knows, listen, that Anthony Joshua is just not enough. They got to get another fighter. They're going to throw the Brinks truck at him. Eddie Hearn's already saying 15 million one fight, and I've already noticed the tune is changing on the Zone. Do you think that this guy knows that if he brings Deontay Wilder over, and if he starts bringing over African-American fighters, if he starts going out, do you think they know? They got to know that it can change the tide of how they're viewed in boxing as a major player. You know? What if they're in Lou DiBella ear? Did you notice Lou DiBella is not over there with PBC like that no more? He was at the Lara fight, yeah. But he's been pretty much aligning himself with the Zone. The rumors is that him and Deontay Wilder are going to meet with John Skipper. And that, according to, sources, Mr. Mike Coping or whatever, he's got a pretty shady relationship. You know what I mean? Shady, not relationship, but reputation as being a PBC shill. But what if it's true? And Wilder's pretty much confirmed it. He's confirmed. He has confirmed that he is going to go listen to him, and that it's not goodbye to Showtime. But he knows what he got to do. He's got to go over there. He's got to get the bag. How can you not listen when they're offering you potentially $100 million dollars? Now that's not saying that he's going to make $100 million guaranteed. But if they say we'll give you $15 million, you fight Joshua in 2 fights, that's $60 million right there, 30 apiece. Then another 2 fights after that, the title defense, we can get you Dominic. What the fuck? You gotta listen. You gotta think about the business part of it. You know how the saying goes. It's not like checkers, it's chess. It's the long-term move of what it means. And realistically, would it be paying for the belt? What if the Zone, their guy is Anthony Joshua? What if they're like, listen, well, we can run with Deontay Wilder too, but more importantly, we want that belt over on the Zone. They are racking up belts, and they're racking up #1 contenders. Even if they're lower level fighters, they're not high level fighters. Hey, somebody just block Nate Diaz. You're going away for a month, buddy. Thank you. Hassan, can you get him? You've been on some nut ass shit like several weeks now. You're going away for 30 days. You are now the only person on my block list for a month. So usually I don't block people, but when people just on some try to get my attention, this guy watches all of my streams and he does the same shit. Hey, can somebody snipe that guy? Thank you. A whole month, a ban. It's probably going to be more than a month. I'm probably not going to be like, oh, yeah, it's been 30 days unblocking. He's the only person. You got to be a fucking weirdo, to be blocked for a whole month, let me tell you. But I think the Zone, I think I think Deontay Wilder is going to go to the zone because judging by his tweets and the interviews, it seems as though he's already made up his mind. It seems he already made up his mind. It seems because they can't do Wilder versus Brazil on pay-per-view. They can do it, but people going to be pissed. And the reason why they have to do it on pay-per-view is because to fight on regular Showtime, he can't make no more than $2 million, maybe $4 million if Al Heyman throws some back money in. But in order for him to get at least $12 million, you know, 13, 14, 15, they got to try their hand and roll that dice with that pay-per-view and maybe take a loss, which they likely will. They got to roll that dice. But the zone for $9.99 a month, they're saying, listen, you and Dominic Brazil come over here and fight. I'll give you $15 million. And Dominic Brazil, you'll make a career high payday too. What the fuck? You can't turn that down. It's crazy. Crazy. You know?